a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day serving as your community advocate, your consumer advocate, helping you with all of your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate you spending some time with us and supporting the show. 11 years on air now. Real excited about the growth. And we've got Jason Avery, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Avery Construction Design Consulting, averyconstruction.com in studio. Also, Lee Curtis with Tampa Bay Design Group. He is an architect. He leads a team of architects. So we're going to dive deep into the real estate, the construction side, architectural design today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Always in studio as well, Alex, BlackBelt Lima. We're going to talk about our event coming up. Alex, we got Thursday, August 15th, 6 o'clock, Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Great opportunity for our audience to come on out and meet with us and fellowship, hang out, network, and enjoy a good time.
Yeah, how awesome is that, huh? And they get we're gonna hook them up with their first drink. They get the appetizers, so there's gonna be some good food there if you've never eaten there. And then really cool, the owner, he's gonna give us a private tour, so we're gonna actually see how the magic happens. I'm hoping to actually lay eyes upon an actual reef donkey. I don't know how they get the reef donkey in the reef donkey beer, but I want to see it. So
yeah, he's swimming around in there and get
how do they milk the reef donkey?
Make the reef donkey milk.
Jason, have you been there before? Tampa Bay Brewing Company?
Yeah, I love that place, man.
Chase.
The food is absolutely amazing there, yes.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Get that private tour and just take a look. And it's our networking event for the month. So we constantly roll over. We have a networking engagement opportunity for you. Happy hour every month. Third Thursday of the event, you can count on the month. Event, you can count on that third Thursday. So Thursday, August 15th, 6 o'clock, we'll see you there. Tampa Bay Brewing Company, Monroe's Business Park, right there in West Chase, close to the county line, close to the
Tampa Bay Downs.
The Tampa Bay Downs, flea market.
Just to the south side of Tampa Bay Downs.
Yes, sir. All right, good stuff. All right, we always like to feature our listings live on air. Part of the strategy helps us sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure for our sellers on the sale of their real estate listings. 221 Howard Drive. This is a beautiful multi-million-dollar listing. Compliments of Aaron Foley on our team, the Platinum MVP team. 221 Howard Drive. Beautiful Bel Air Beach property. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, $3.4 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. Exclusive Bel Air Beach location. You have gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of linear wattage or water frontage on deep water access. So you bring your boat, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. And you are 1 block from beach access. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, another one of our beautiful listings. 5121 40th Avenue North. This one's in St. Pete, Pinellas County. Now, what you have here is a renovated home. Owner is motivated. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2,062 square feet, quarter-acre lot, surrounded by oak trees, spacious living, refinished hardwood floors flow throughout, and you have a short drive to St. Pete Beach downtown and St. Pete and Tropicana. And you can see all of our real estate listings. By the way, check out our open houses. Every weekend we're doing a lot of open houses out there. The agents work hard on the weekends. Go visit them and check them all out at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Jason Avery in the house. Jason Avery, Avery Construction. Welcome back, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, just blessed and highly favored, my friend.
I agree. The same here. So, I brought a guest today, one of my favorite architects that I collaborate with on a regular basis, and we were, out in the lobby, comparing notes, what consumer tips we could bring to the table today. And something that we're both running into a lot of is phone calls for people who are seeking an after-the-fact permit. And so I'm sure you run into it in your listings all the time, that maybe there's been some work done to that house. It wasn't permitted. There was no plan for it from the beginning. Maybe the subcontractors cut some corners, if they were licensed subcontractors at all, and not just the local handyman, expanding his boundaries. And so, something that in my construction company I can't really help with. We've got 45 guys doing high-end homes on the water, on the golf course, behind a gate, 100,000 plus, type projects. That's, what we're doing. But, things to avoid, and I'll let Lee elaborate more, but something I wanted to touch on as well to kind of lead into Lee with the architecture is that all the projects we're doing these days are requiring more and more thorough and detailed plans for submittal in order to get approved for permits. And here's the reason why. So when COVID happened, the world shut down, including the building department offices. You were no longer allowed to come in and submit your plans and sit across the table from a plans examiner the way we've done it, all the years that I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So, if I'm doing a simple kitchen remodel for somebody, maybe taking down a non-load bearing wall in front of it to open up the space or something, that should be very simple. It's really, there's no engineers required for it. There's no, no special plans. I can draw a cabinet design of the room, lay it out, maybe note on there, we're going to move the plumbing from here to there to create a new island or something. But that was sufficient enough. If the plans examiner had a question, he'd say, what about this space? You'd give him a quick answer and he'd say, okay, I get it, and he'd bless your plans, you'd move on. It was a very timely process. But COVID, shutting it down, now they tried to innovate. And I appreciate what they tried to accomplish, and they created an entire online submittal process way more advanced than they ever had before. But the trouble is that now when I submit that simple version of the plan through the online, somebody looks at it without me there to answer the questions, and they say, this doesn't make sense. What about that area? And they reject it. They kick it back. I've had to submit some things 4 times sometimes before getting approval. And even if I give them the answers within a day or 2, it takes 3 more weeks for them to take a look at the answers I gave them, and then they kick me back 2 or 3 more questions. I get it within a day or 2, and it takes them 3 weeks to kick. So the process is getting longer and longer, if not better prepared. And so even in some of these small, simple, remodels for me, I have to have architects on board to design it, lay it out, and indicate that that wall we're removing is not load bearing.
Right.
They don't want to just take my word for it. They want somebody with more credentials than me to back that up.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. And that's where Lee comes in.
Yeah,
right? Lee Curtis.
All my biggest and best projects go through Lee Curtis and Tampa Bay Design Group. So I'll let him tell you more about what he's running into there.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Jason. Love working with you. Been working with you a long time. And I'll go back to what you started with about people trying to do a project without a permit, thinking they're going to save a heck of a lot of money. First of all, the property appraiser is going to come around and find that you did work without a permit. Once they do, they're going to make you get a permit. That pretty much requires tearing everything apart, getting somebody to draw you a set of plans for what you intended to build, and I'm not going to do that. And then, just talking about inspections anyway, why wouldn't you want somebody to come in and make sure your electrical work is done properly so your house doesn't burn down, your plumbing's work done properly? You're going to spend a couple $100 for a permit. And then what if you don't get a permit and your electrician, they're all great, not saying anything bad, but now they know they can cut corners, save a little money. They're not getting an inspection. Nobody will ever know. There's no advantage to not getting a permit.
Yeah.
So
what would be the counter thought? Like, do people just sometimes think, they assume that I don't need to get, this is such a small deal, I don't need to get a permit?
Sometimes contractors talk them into it because maybe they're not really contractors, and I think that's it. Most of all, they got a really good handyman that can do the job if we don't have a permit. Well, you can pull a homeowner's permit and let somebody you trust do the work, but it has to be inspected. And it's in your favor as a homeowner to make sure the work is done properly.
Yeah. Well, I'll expand on that. Is that in Pinellas County, they recognize it's like 40 or 41 different types of trades licenses. So, for electric or plumbing or air conditioning, even as a general contractor, I'm not entitled to go do that work without having that license signed in underneath our license.
Got it.
And you have, as a homeowner, you can pull a permit for the general purposes, but you're still going to have all those for licenses, roofing, air conditioning, any of those things. So, having the right professional, obviously, to get it done. But the real catalyst, the question you asked is it exposed or is it hidden? Things that are exposed, it's less important on the permit. But if you're going to do electrical wiring and then put drywall over the top of it, you need that inspected first so that it doesn't arc and burn the house down. If you're going to have plumbing work done and then it's going to be covered by concrete boards and tile, you want to make sure that pipe doesn't have a slow drip that you won't see for the next 3 years, but when you find it, it's because everything's full of mold.
Yeah.
It's there to protect, the homeowner and the consumer. So
that makes a lot of sense, folks. You got to think about it from a layer deeper and consider why these are in place. I think where some people get frustrated is maybe if there's a permit to change out the water heater or something. Is that a scenario that you see, Jason?
And technically, again, it should require a permit, but most people aren't pulling one there again because it's exposed. You can see it if it's leaking, if it's done by a licensed professional. Even there is a real divide between the bureaucracy of the office at the building department and then the reality of the good old boy contractor inspectors who've been doing this with us for years. In the field, they tend to be more down to earth about things, but to get through the office, to get approval to see the guys in the field, you really have to dot all the I's and cross all the T's in accordance with Florida building code. There's no exceptions. Yeah. None at all. Even when it doesn't make any sense.
We're talking with Jason Avery, Avery Construction, and also Lee Curtis. He's the owner of Tampa Bay Design Group here. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, and we're talking about these ideas around construction, and it's an interesting paradigm because you think about supply chain, how the supply chain got hit, how did that affect us? Of course, the permitting process, that's going to slow down the projects. What are some of the other tips that you guys came up with or thoughts?
So FEMA, because we're talking about waterfront homes, FEMA is a big deal. When Lee's designing waterfront from the ground up, he was going to put everything above the floodplain. I am personally dealing with a lot of homes that are now inside the floodplain. It's a single-story house, been there for years. FEMA restricts how much improvement you can do. So it really takes a professional like Lee to help get that plan going. He can tell you how it breaks down. There's a thing called the 50-50 rule.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate?
Yeah, so it's the 50% rule. Basically, if you buy a waterfront property for $800,000, most people think, well, $800,000, I can spend $400,000 on a room addition. No. If the property's worth $800,000 and the structure, the cheap little old house built in 1940s worth $120,000, you can only spend $60,000. And that's the problem people get into. They buy this house thinking they can do all this great work to it, and they find out the 50% rule only stands to the structure itself.
Now, that's frustrating for a homeowner. I mean, as a homeowner, we pay tons of taxes. We have all these fees that we're paying everywhere. So why shouldn't I, as a homeowner, be able to improve that property? What's the thought process behind that?
Well, it's all insurance, and when the storm comes, are we going to let you build $1 million below the floodplain when everybody else is required to build above the floodplain?
Got it.
Right, and so otherwise, if the flood comes, blows it all away, FEMA insurance has to step in to replace all that. So they want you to tear those homes down. They want you to build them up, but they can't force you to. So they're going to limit what you can do to the old one. Now the real challenge is they buy it and they only got that $60,000 allowance, and then they find out that the cast iron pipes are no good in the house, and they got to do all that. Now it blew the entire wad. They can't do anymore. Or what if it needs a roof, an air conditioner? Basic thing. Insurance companies won't insure you unless your roof's like 3 years old. So those are problems that people run into. And each municipality is interpreting it different. And, some of them, as soon as you finish the permit, they'll let you open a new one for the same value. Some of them, they make you wait 12 months. Some make you wait 36. I think Oldsmar's now up to 7 years.
Dunedin's 5 years.
5 years. I've heard rumor of like trying to get to a universal 10-year. Now, my suggestion, my solution, and I just met with somebody running for Congress the other day, and I said, you want a problem with a solution, and people want to do more to those homes. FEMA doesn't want to pay the bill if they get ruined, so why don't you create some kind of an exemption status where the homeowner can sign off that they're not holding FEMA responsible, and now they'll do whatever they want to it, and the property is forever on the condemned list of being able to take insurance money back. But let the homeowner do what they want from that point on. And now, isn't that helping the FEMA problem? You're getting people off the list of payouts.
I like that. Self-insured.
So let people exempt themselves, So talk to your local congressman and offer that as a solution. That's my idea.
There you go. I like that. We got to take a quick break here. Jason Avery, Avery Construction in studio with us. Also, Lee Curtis. He's the owner of Tampa Bay Design Group. He's an architect. He's got a team of architects working mostly on waterfront homes here in Tampa Bay. Coming up later on, we got Abby Rutledge, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, a top listing agent on the team. Plus, our feel-good story of the day. Canine sniffers in Oklahoma use their nose to convict child predators. Feel-good story coming up here. Consumer Quarterbacks Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Lindsay Rhymes here with Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. Our luxury condo community is located only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. Our buyers love the high-end luxury amenities in their building, including a state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons, the resort-style temperature-controlled pool accompanied with cabanas and grills, and the gourmet chef's kitchen in our clubhouse that overlooks the pool. We have pre-construction pricing only for a limited time, with floor plans ranging from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath to 2-floor penthouses with plunge pools. Starting in the low 400,000s to the high 900s, investors, parents sending their young adults off to school, medical professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs alike are investing in these residences. Reach out to us today at 727-263-3707 to get more information.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Jason Avery. Avery Construction, he's the owner. Also, Lee Curtis, owner of Tampa Bay Design Group here in Tampa Bay. We're talking about architecture, real estate, FEMA rules, all types of good stuff, permitting process. More coming up here in just a moment, as well as a couple of hot listings here. Quick shout out to our friends at Solar Bear. If you're thinking about adding solar onto your home, we recommend you talk to Blake Ambrester over at solarbear.com. You can check him out online, solarbear.com. They'll give you free estimates as well. Reach out to solarbear.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. All right, a couple of hot listings here. 8533 110th Street. Number 305 in Seminole. Affordable property. Owners motivated here. They put a lot of money into this property recently. You've got 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 638 square foot condo right here in Seminole, Tampa Bay, Pinellas County. You have all types of different events going on at this 55-plus community. You have a land lease is a key selling point here on this unit because it results in a lower monthly fee. Some of the other HOA fees are at or near or above $1,000 a month. Ours is much lower. 8533 110th Street, Unit 305 in Seminole, Florida. 5198 40th Street South. Another investment opportunity here in Tampa Bay. I think this one would be short-term rental approved. The developer, the renovator, has put a great job of renovation into the interior, doing lighter colors, lighter scheme colors that people like. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 3,000 square foot, 40th Street South, St. Petersburg, Florida. And a great opportunity to see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPteam.kw.com. All right, Jason Avery's in studio with us, as well as Lee Curtis. He's the owner of Tampa Bay Design Group. And Jason, we talk a lot about the real estate economy, the market, where we're at right now. Of course, a little softer than it used to be. The market and hopefully we'll see the Fed make some moves here with in light of the stock market and things happening there. I know inflation, mortgage rates were plummeting earlier in the week. Based on 4.3% unemployment rate, the highest since coming out of COVID, just reported. This is from the National Association of Realtors chief economist, Lawrence Yun. 4.3% unemployment rate, the highest since coming out of COVID and the lockdowns, and then also higher than the 3.5% unemployment rate right before COVID. Also, hourly wage gain of 3.2% is the weakest in 3 years. So hourly wage gain down as well. So overall, the economy, we've kind of been in that point here, but we're hoping that rates get, reduced and we can start stimulating a little bit more traffic in terms of the transaction numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what I see it on my end for the last 18 months, and a lot of the average upper middle class customers that I serve, and our customers tend to have money even when times are tough, but those customers, a lot of them put their money on the sidelines. So I'm referring to those people who come in and spend $50,000 to $100,000 remodeling a room in their house. Those have thinned out quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I think it's mostly our conservative base that is disappeared from the marketplace for the moment. Just put their money on the sidelines.
Yep.
Uncertainty, what's going to happen upcoming election. Now, my prediction is what we've had in the meantime. We've still had plenty of financial results on sales, but with much fewer transactions. The projects we're getting are ginormous. I'm doing a $500,000 remodel in one house. I'm doing a $400,000, a $300,000, many in the high 200,000s, almost all of them over 100. So the people that are spending their money with us right now, I think, are more of the 1% of the 1%, the liberal elite, and those are my customers. And again, I serve all customers. Don't get me wrong. And what I think is going to happen in November is, no matter which way we go, if it goes to the right, I think then the conservative customers come back because from their impression, they think the world's saved now. And if it goes to the left, I think that their perspective is interest rates are going to stay high for 4 more years. I need to just stay put in my house. I can't sell it right now. And inflation is going to make that project I've been putting off any cheaper. It's just going to get more expensive, so I might as well get it done now and enjoy it for the next 4 years. That's my prediction, what I think is going to happen with that base of clients that tends to be missing. Yeah. Just uncertainty leading up to it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I also find that there are a lot of people coming down from up north who just sold their house, cashed in their 401k, they get their lifetime pension, and they come down here feeling like they're millionaires, and they realize they can buy a piece of property with an old house, tear it down, and basically it's like having a vacant lot and building a new home. And they can build anything they want. Yeah. And then also I agree with Jason, the 1%, they just see this as a fire sale. We can get things cheaper and less people to fight against. Yeah. So it's, people with money, there's no reason for them to wait. They just feel they can get it done right now at a better price than if things are going great.
Sure.
And along the lines of unemployment and that you were referring to, I'm getting more phone calls now from people who are working with home builders that they're starting to freeze up, that now are looking for work. I'm finding subcontractors that have slowed down that were working for those builders that are looking for work. I had a design lady that got laid off from her company. She had heard me on the radio, wanted to know, if I had opportunities. So I'm starting to see more of that. Yeah. But we have a solid team. We're keeping them steady and busy. My consumer tip for today, follow up our earlier conversation about getting permits, not getting stuck in that after the fact permit scenario. In one of my other hats I wear, I do coaching and consulting, and I support some attorneys with construction litigation as an expert testimony. Yep. And so I've had to review many jobs where the homeowner is suing the flipper that they bought the house from because lots of things were done unpermitted, not to code, in very hazardous ways. And so I have to go in and assess the value of the damages to help create the lawsuit, the claim. I've had, suits against builders who cut corners, that, now they've only been in the home 3 months and windows are leaking and floors are damaged and mold is forming and things like that. So, it's very important to have, a solid architectural plan from a solid company like Lee's. Yep. It's very important to make sure, you're dealing with the right licensed professionals.
30 seconds. Back to you, Lee.
Yeah, so a good set of plans is going to take less guesswork out of the subcontractors giving you a price. If you want a really good price, get a good set of plans. A cheap set of plans to just get a permit, they're going to guess.
Yeah.
Cheap plans take longer to get approved. So what kind of timeline are you on?
Time is money.
Time is money. That's right. And change orders cost a lot of money, too. All right. Jason Avery Construction. Lee Curtis, Tampa Bay Design Group. Thanks for coming in.
Great to be here.
All right. Coming up, Abby Rutledge, real estate team, platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. She is a top listing agent and also former appraiser. So we're going to have a conversation with her about the real estate market, the latest statistics as well. What's the absorption rate? What's the days on market? What's the months of inventory? We're going to go over all that coming up here for Hillsborough, Pinellas counties, and possibly more. Coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for spending some time with us here, supporting the show, supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we've got Abby Rutledge joining us here for this segment. She's a top agent on the team, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We're going to talk with. We're going to dive deep into the market. We've got some stats. We've got absorption rates. We've got all types of data. So the analytical types out there will really like this segment, Abby. They like the numbers. They want to see the charts. They want to see the graphs. I'm the opposite. I'm the driver. Just give me the bottom line. But yeah, so before we do a couple of hot listings here, we'll touch about a couple of listings here. I got a property on Archer Place in Gainesville. I want to start with that one because Abby is a agent on our team, and she's been up in Gainesville and manning the booth, so to speak, manning the model and helping us sell these properties. We got several under contract now. 3101 Old Archer Road, Unit 209, but there's, of course, several different units available, up to 90 plus units available now. Pre-construction luxury condos in Gainesville, Florida. Pre-construction pricing, you're getting 10% off retail, starting in the low 400s to the high 900s. You have floor plans ranging from 1 bedroom, 2 bath to 3 bedroom, 3 bath. 2-story penthouses with plunge pools, EB5 visa approved. That's really cool. Utilizing that EB5 visa, bringing in cash from outside of the country. 1.5 miles from University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical, Butler Plaza, high-end luxury amenities. Old Archer Road in Gainesville, Florida. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. All right, let's look at Pinellas Point Drive in St. Petersburg. This one's in Pinellas Point in Gainesville. I'm sorry, Pinellas Point, St. Pete. Right here, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2236 square feet. Culinary enthusiasts will delight in this fully renovated kitchen, open floor plan. And I've been on the listing appointment with Deanna on this home. It's a beautiful home. It has a great floor plan. It's wide open there in the kitchen to the living room. Really cool layout. 2790 Pinellas Point Drive, South, St. Petersburg. Beautifully landscaped, paver patio. Very interesting backyard there with a gazebo, enticing jacuzzi. Great opportunity. Close to Skyway Bridge as well. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And I got to give a quick shout out to our friends at Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let Ramin know. Ramin is the owner, great guy. He's cleaned our properties for many years now. HeightsSoftWash.com. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you, and doing all your pressure washing for residential, commercial, your pavers, your patios, of course. Get it cleaned up, and we can help you do that. Heights Soft Wash. All right, Abby Rutledge, welcome back in. Consumer Quarterback Show, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for putting together all this great content for us here. So we're going to dive deep into the stats today in the market, and of course, you've been spending a lot of time up in Gainesville. Tell us a little bit about Gainesville and the Archer Place up there and how it's going up there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It is just a fantastic luxury condominium residences that Gainesville has never seen. I've had people buyers come in and go, we have been waiting years for something just like this.
Cool.
So it's been a lot of positive feedback, a lot of people interested, and we're just getting our name out there and getting as many realtors to come in, bring buyers, and it's just been very well received. They love the model. As soon as someone walks through the door and they look in that model, they're like, wow, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah. And football season right around the corner, so we're going to be making our way up to Gainesville and going to some of the games and networking as well.
That's going to be amazing. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, networking with a lot of the Bull Gators, they call them, the boosters. So any Gator fans out there, this is a great opportunity to invest because you are getting a 10% off retail. And these properties are most certainly going to appreciate most pre-construction real estate does appreciate. And then you have the opportunity to short-term rent it. And, of course, when investors look at a college town, they're looking at, hey, this is a college town that's going to have turnover of students, teachers, alumni, et cetera, football games, all types of stimulus to that local economy.
Absolutely. And that's the reception we've gotten, from parents of students that, they want to have a secure, really nice place for their students to live, to investors that understand the importance of getting in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing but benefit.
Yeah, so let's jump into this story here. So homeowners gained $28,000 in equity over the past year. Talk to me about that one.
So, the one thing I love about our team and our market center, we have these monthly mastermind meetings, and they talk about all this to make sure that, we are knowledgeable and we know what we're talking about. So what was really interesting in the last meeting, it talked about how homeowners gained $28,000 in equity in just the past year alone. And what I find really interesting about that is when you look at those different states, obviously that's the average, but Florida is right there. The state of Florida is right at that $28,000 in equity in just this last year.
You know what I find interesting too is that you still have equity gain in the Northeast, and because what happens is people are leaving New York, but they're going to, for example, what is this? New Hampshire. They're going to, is that Rhode Island? They're so small to see here. But yeah, so the movement there, so they're moving around. I hear a lot about Florida and Tennessee and Texas, of course. Texas is a little bit low on this list, in my opinion, too. It's showing kind of lower appreciation.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that. What's really showing the most appreciation are really your Northeast states, maybe down to Virginia, California, Nevada. But yeah, it seems like Texas is maybe a little, more. What's the word I'm looking for, Brandon? Just kind of...
Yeah, exactly.
Stable. I don't even know if stable is the right word, but, not as much of an increase.
Yep, I hear you. And then it also goes on to talk about, this article talks about if you bought before the pandemic, your equity is even better because you bought it at even a better price prior to pandemic.
That's what I think is amazing, is that according to data from Realtor.com, home prices shot up 37.5% from May 2019 to May 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really significant. And so what they're saying is that with home prices continuing to reach new heights, owners are also seeing their equity approach the historic peaks of 2023, close to a total of $305,000 in equity per owner. That's amazing.
That's where you're building wealth, especially when you look at, for example, I love to give the example of a veteran. I love my veterans. I love all the people that fought for our country. My father did. I kind of chickened out in a way, I say, because I had an opportunity to play football at the Naval Academy. I was recruited to play quarterback for the Naval Academy. I kind of passed up on it, and I kind of jokingly, come down on myself, like, oh yeah, you didn't want to go in the military afterwards. But it was that combined with like freezing cold weather in the Northeast. From a Southern boy in the South here, and I had an opportunity to play at South Florida. But yeah, so the military, going back to the military, if you think about that, you have 100% financing opportunity. You can do up to 4 units underneath the residential financing umbrella. So meaning I can get a loan for 100% for 4 units. I can live in one side and rent the other 3 out, Abby.
It's amazing. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And honestly, with a son that is in the Army, and we're looking at ways that we can have him benefit from those VA programs, like that would be the perfect example for him.
Yeah.
Buy a 4 family, to even a 2 unit if that's what you want.
Yep.
Live in one side, rent out the other, have your mortgage paid for.
Yep, that's right. Mortgage paid for, the appreciation that we're talking about here. And also right now, since it is a softer market, negotiations have been a bit in the favor of the buyer. Have you noticed that as well?
I have. I mean, according to the numbers, we're still in a seller's market.
Right.
Basically, it needs to have more than 6 months of inventory to be a buyer's market.
Yep.
But some of the areas are inching a little closer to that, and I know that's something we're going to talk about. And so, yes, it feels like buyers have more options.
Yep.
And so more inventory does mean more options.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to negotiate prepaids, closing costs, repairs into those contracts, because the sellers that are on the market now, they are motivated. Most of them, they're motivated. They want to sell for divorce or whatever the situation is, closer to the beach, etc. And you're going to see that. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, and that's, to follow up with that, basically what is the second half of 2024 looking like for a buyer? They're basically saying that, there's 4 reasons why this may be your chance to jump back into buying a home. The supply of homes for sale is growing.
Yeah.
So there's more houses on the market for you to look at. Right now there's about a 3.7, national months worth of inventory.
Yep.
The other thing that I thought was really interesting, there's a lot more new construction. And I didn't realize this. Today, 1 in 3 homes are new construction.
Wow.
I mean, I'm working on a new construction property, and I didn't even know that that was what it was. That's amazing to me.
Wow.
So anyway, so that just means if you didn't previously look at newly built homes as part of your search, you may want to, bring that back into what you're looking for, because builders are giving incentives and things like that.
Sure.
Also, because of mortgage rates, we know this, there's less buyer competition, and so there's better conditions for buyers to be out there. And then home prices are moderating, right? So we're seeing a little bit, we're starting to see the price decreases come down. Sellers are being a little more realistic.
Yep.
And so, so those are really kind of like the top 4 reasons, I think, for people to just kind of get back in if you've been on the sidelines.
Record number of price improvements, too.
Yes.
That's safe to say, right?
Yes.
We have a pretty cool feature on our website where we can plug in a zip code, and it will tell us the number of price drops, and we call it a price improvement if we're the listing agent. That's a price improvement. We reduce the price. So, yes, there's a record number happening there, and, it's, and when you have those buyers coming, You've got to make sure that you're negotiating. You're trying to keep the deal alive at all costs. If there's anything you can do to keep the deals alive, and I love teaching the classes. I love talking about negotiation. Negotiation is one of the classes that I teach at the real estate boards as well. So we're talking here with Abby Rutledge. She is a team member on the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, a top listing agent on our team, and also helping buyers out there as well. And we've closed several deals together, and some interesting stuff, in the market right now. Let's continue on with this. We got this last page here. So this is going into the housing market forecast. What's ahead? Okay, so we kind of touched on that, but there's a little bit different data here.
Yeah, I think what they're saying is it depends on who is doing the forecasting, right? So you have Fannie Mae, you have MBA, Goldman Sachs, NAR. They all have different numbers. So, you might have Freddie Mac that's like 0.5% of appreciation. You might have the Fannie Mae at 4.8, but the average is really 2.9. So what they're still saying is that even in the second half of 2024, home prices are expected to climb. It's going to be moderate, but they are not one of these 7 forecasters said that there was going to be like non-appreciation.
You know what's interesting too, when you look at this, if the rates drop significantly like they could now with the latest news coming out, it's here's something to think about. 4.3% unemployment rate is the highest that we've seen since coming out of the COVID lockdowns.
Wow.
Higher than the 3.5% unemployment right before COVID. So almost a full point. And then hourly wage gain, 3.2%, is the weakest in 3 years. So you've got wages down, you've got unemployment up, and the Federal Reserve, in my opinion, they're late in moving away from their restrictive monetary policy. And the Fed may make a deeper cut, 50 basis points in September, potentially. What would that look like? How would that translate? And if the rates drop enough, now you're going to see that feeding frenzy and that competition kind of feeding on the amygdala portion of the brain, right? The brain's thinking, I'm going to lose out. I got fear here. I'm worried about this. I'm going to lose out. Now you're going to have that feeding frenzy. And that is where I think some of these predictions could be off.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what one of the other things after we talked about those 4 reasons for what's happening in the second half of 2024, they're actually saying it's an opportunity for you as a buyer because, it's going to be a little bit easier to navigate here. But as soon as those interest rates drop,
right,
game over. The people that are on the sidelines are going to want to come in, get on the market, and now you might find yourself, kind of running the risk with that shift in market of getting back into competition.
Sure, absolutely. All right, good stuff. We're going to take a quick break. Come right back. Abby Rutledge in-house, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, going over some detailed stats here. You're breaking down the market. We're going to talk about the absorption rates for Hillsborough County, Pasco, Pinellas counties here coming up in just a minute. Plus, we have our feel-good story of the day. Every day we tell you something positive in our feel-good segment. So here's a good one. Canine sniffers, that means dogs, in Oklahoma use their nose to convict child predators. Feel-good story coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3700. 3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values. Patriotic, Christian, conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. By simply shifting some of your buying habits, you're going to help support like-minded people, like-minded companies, and that can support you as well.
Lindsay Rhymes here. My husband Brandon and I own the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams, and our team of seasoned agents is ready to help you buy, sell, invest, and love the life you live here in Tampa Bay. Communication, execution, customer service, and bulletproofing transactions are really where our team shines. We service Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties, and we have seasoned agents in residential, luxury land, and commercial divisions. Reach out to us, your Christian realtors, and let us help empower you with the right knowledge to make smart decisions with your next transaction. Call us at 727-263-3707 today. Again, that number is 727-263-3707.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back, Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Keller Williams Realty. Hot listing on the Gulf Boulevard here, Gulf Boulevard, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Indian Shores. I love this condo. It's $1 million listing right on the beach. You walk out your front door and you walk past your private parking spot, and then you're right there on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square foot condo, beachfront condo in Indian Shores. Short-term rental approved, low HOA dues, only $250 a month. Great investment opportunity on Gulf Boulevard, Unit F in Indian Shores. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, every day we tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, feel good story of the day. In Oklahoma, K9 units like Roscoe and Ruger are crucial in convicting child predators by detecting electronic storage devices, even tiny SD cards. Roscoe and Rogers County's Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force played a key role in prosecuting an Ecuadorian doctor facing a 30-year sentence for creating explicit content involving minors. Roscoe's detection skills uncovered hidden devices during a police raid. Additionally, Roscoe's secondary training as a support dog provided comfort to a distressed 15-year-old girl with special needs during the operation. The K9s not only helped catch criminals, but also offer emotional support to victims and officers handling these heavy cases. All right, there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. I love that one. Catching the bad guys, using the dogs to do it. unbelievable what some of these, our four-legged friends can do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Abby Rutledge in the house, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams. We got a lot of wood to chop. Let's go quickly here. So Hillsborough County non-distressed homes for sale. Tell us about it.
So basically, part of the, the stats are what is the absorption rate of the market, and basically the absorption rate is the rate at which homes are selling in a specific area. Right? There's 3 pieces of information: specific time frame, number of homes sold during that time frame, and then the number of actives. So right now in Hillsborough County, non-distressed, there is a 3.2 month supply of inventory. So that still tells us that we are, we're still in a seller's market, and it gives you a good idea of where that is. The average days on market have been 40 days on market. What I find interesting, and this is really important, the active average days on market are almost doubled. It's up to 75 now. So that just tells you that homes are staying on the market longer.
Wow, 75 days on market now, Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
All right, next county we're looking at is going to be Pinellas County?
Yeah, Pinellas County. So same sort of thing. So we have a 21.8% absorption rate, which equals 4.6 month supply of inventory. So obviously creeped up a little bit from what Hillsborough is. Average days on market 52. Again, we've bumped up almost. We've almost doubled our average days on market for our actives. We're at 91 right now.
91 days on market?
Yes, where we were at 52.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're seeing things are definitely on the market longer than they have been.
Yep, Pasco County.
And now we're at Pasco County. We're at 3.2 months supply of inventory for Pasco County. We do have average days on market was 46, and we've bumped up also our actives at 73.
Gotcha.
Days on market.
Yep. Yeah,
so
interesting.
It is very interesting. I think that's just a telling signal to our sellers: be patient. Mm-hmm. This isn't, just a couple months ago we were selling a lot faster, and now it's just going to take a little bit longer.
And it's also more important now than ever to price the property properly. It needs to be priced properly. Skill-based agent. Give us about a minute or so on that.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about how I'm part of the Platinum MVP team, and I feel like I'm the quarterback of the transaction. Yeah. And I'm here to get you to the finish line. So what I love about working on this team is we only work with highly skilled, highly rated lender partners, insurance companies, title companies, home inspectors. And so if I'm calling someone on a Friday evening or over the weekend, and I need something done within 24 hours, I can get that person to respond because we've built a relationship with these people. Yeah. And I do that for them. I do that for the person I'm representing, right? Right. And so, I just want to say that, we do have those relationships. That's what gives us the juice, and that's what we bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's those relationships that can help you get deals done, help you save deals. There's many different cases where, there's been a change in whatever it might have been, a change in circumstances. Now you got an insurance issue. What can we do? I've been on the phone with FEMA before, talking to them directly, like, no, you're making a mistake. This is not the way it's supposed to be seen. And our experts will do that. Abby, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Brandon, for having me.
My pleasure. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Jason Avery and his guest, Lee Curtis, also Abby Rutledge, Platinum MVP team, all of our producers behind the scenes making it happen, and thanking you for supporting the show, supporting the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, and we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.